Monday, February 26th.
People ask me, like, how does it feel to be a girl chef? I just love what I do, and I'm a bad at it.
And you're invited to meet and eat.
We're gonna add some of the sauce.
Yum. With some of the most powerful women in food.
You're not supposed to reveal my secrets.
Oh, sorry. We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out.
And this shark is revealing the 6 secrets of her success.
I've had all my biggest successes on the heels of rejection.
And breakfast, it's what's for dinner.
Yes! Boom! Excited about today's show, especially excited. It ties into this. This is our current issue of our Everyday magazine. The cover is #LikeABoss. We are celebrating powerful women in food, and I'm really proud of this cover because way before the politics of today and the news movement of today, I had a boss in a kitchen. It was my mom, and they told my mom, when she was in high school, they told her she could go to secretary school or she could be a wife. That was it. And my mom kicked butts in kitchens for over 60 years. I'm so proud of her. It is not only the current issue of our magazine, but #LikeABoss is the theme of this show. Please give it up for chefs Leah Cohen, Missy Robbins, and Ann Burrell. Here's how this is going to roll. All 3 of these great chefs are going to give us their advice on being a good and relevant boss. And they're all going to cook for us. Yay. And we're going to see a little backstory on each person as we're resetting for the next person's food. I have had the luck and just the gratitude of working with this lady for a long time. Chef Ann Burrell. All right. I love Ann's food so much. And it's a good thing because when we work together, it's usually an environment with some of the worst cooks. So we're really all we got. Right?
Oh my God, it's so funny you say that story about your mother. I mean, as we become better and better friends, it's like we always find, we just are like, oh my God, get out of my head. That's
right.
like what. So my mother had that exact same experience when she was growing up, you know what I mean? Or like growing up.
They used to tell you what you couldn't be.
Right, you don't need to go to college, you're a girl.
That's right, you're a girl. You don't need any of that.
Exactly.
So what do you think are some of your top tips or advice for people that are lucky enough to one day become a boss of their own time or other people's time?
Well, I mean, you know, like coming up through kitchens in New York City, I mean, when I first started, I felt like I was like, you know, trying to cut my teeth and prove myself, and I was like, rah, 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 you know, and then it's like, that's ineffective, it doesn't work, so the whole idea is like sort of a kinder, softer, nicer, but definitely very firm approach works much better.
Firm and fair.
Firm and fair, right.
Firm but fair. Let's take a look at Ann's story.
I'm Chef Ann Burrell, and I'm the chef owner of Phil and Ann's Good Time Lounge in Brooklyn. When I was a junior in college, I started working in restaurants as a waitress. And after the first week, I was like, I'm hooked. I'm home. I fit in here. Thank you. I got a job as a prep cook. Cleaning lettuce and washing shrimp and cutting vegetables. And then I went to the Culinary Institute of America after that, and I've not looked back one single day. Look at that, gorge. This is how girl chefs do it. I love using my hands to create stuff. I love coming up with recipes and menus and that kind of stuff. And then I also love like feeding people. I love feeling like the hostess. Look at that. It's wildly empowering, but there's so much more wrapped up in it than just being the chef of the restaurant. It can be amazing. It can be heartbreaking. It's your blood, sweat, and tears. People ask me, like, how does it feel to be a girl chef? And I'm like, I don't know how it feels to be a dude chef, so it feels pretty normal to me. I just love what I do, and I'm a badass at it. Enjoy.
That's awesome. We're just saying, a lot of people people ask me if I go to panels and stuff, what's it like being a female this or female that? It drives me nuts. It should just be like, what's it like to do this or do that in life? There shouldn't be a distinction about the difference between being a relevant female boss or male boss, and we certainly don't know what it's like to be a man. At least I don't. What are you cooking up?
All right, so, you know, in honor of being such a big fat girl chef, let's do some big fat meat, right?
Yeah, meat.
So I have a pork porterhouse. I have, you know, like, it's a nice, beautiful, thick cut of...
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
Oh.
It's usually a beef porterhouse that we do. We're going to brine these babies, so I
Always be brining, one of my favorite sayings.
Always
Everything
be
tastes
brining.
better brined.
Right, especially pork. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, these days it's bred to be so lean, even, you know, the other, like, you know,
The other white meat thing.
Right, any heritage breeds and that kind of stuff. So we have rosemary, we have some garlic, cloves, salt, sugar. I like to do these guys overnight, so they really, I mean, and you can go crazy with brines, whatever kind of flavors you want in there.
That's basically it. Salt and sugar and whatever flavor.
What other flavor you want to go in there. So I leave them in there overnight, and we'll say, all right, see you later.
See you later.
See you tomorrow. Right. And so then we have these guys that have come out, and it's like they've really absorbed all of this salty deliciousness and like some garlic, rosemary, and we're like, oh, keeps the pork really super nice and moist. So then we're just gonna earl it up a little bit.
Earl.
Like earl it up, right? When I first started doing Secrets of a Restaurant Chef, people would be like,
What did she say?
Who's Earl? And they're like, who's Olive Earl? And I'm like, oh my God, really? And I'm like, I'm just joking. So we're just gonna lay these guys on the grill and get some beautiful grill marks on them all over the place. Like, really brown food everywhere, tastes good. And then we're gonna pop them in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna take it to about 140, 145 degrees, and then we're gonna let our big fat meat rest. And so then we're just gonna do a little sort of sauce chutney for this. I've got some delicious bacon and onions going on here, clearly some salt. And then we build a little sauce on top of this with some apples. Thank you.
Chuck them in there, babe.
Chuck them in there, babe. Right, apples and some prunes. You know how like prunes or dried figs work really well?
Yeah, dried fruits, yum.
And then we just add a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of saba, which is basically like really reduced grape juice. It's like balsamic vinegar, but without the vinegar part. So
it's like grape syrup.
Syrupy, grapey deliciousness. And then we just cook it till we have this, you know, so then we have sweet, we have the chewy dried prunes in there, we have a little rosemary happening, we have a little bright sourness, onions, and clearly bacon, pork and bacon. I mean, who doesn't love a double pork?
Pork on pork.
Pork on pork, baby.
Well, you know my husband, John's nickname is Johnny Walker based on his love of scotch, but his nickname, his favorite four-letter word, is also pork. His favorite four-letter word. More so than love, John loves pork. P-O-R-K. You should have a tattoo on it.
See, it's like that's not my favorite four-letter word at all.
No, me either.
And they were telling us when we were backstage, like, girls, talk amongst yourselves, like, have a little banter. And we're like, okay, but when we banter, it usually includes some swear words. So, notice they haven't said anything yet.
We're trying not to. We don't want to interrupt you, Ann.
Well,
we don't want to break your concentration.
You used to work for Ann.
Yeah, I was Ann's sous chef at Centro Vinoteca a long time ago.
150 years ago. Right.
Actually, Ann, I wanted to work for Ann because she was the first female chef I had ever worked for. I had only worked for male chefs, and I was drawn to her because she was a female chef, and it was great. I learned a lot.
So, and that's, I mean, I have to say, it kind of just goes down the pike like that because I did the same thing with Lydia Bastianich. So, like, that was my first job in New York City working out for Lydia, and she's, you know, she's like kind of the ultimate. She's still scared.
Okay, those are gorgeous.
So once we get them really brown on all the sides, like brown food tastes good, back and forth a few times, we pop these guys in a pretty hot oven.
Let me see if they got some in there for you.
You serve
We got them. No, we got them here.
Oh, you've already got them there.
Look, it's the magic of TV.
Ta-da!
Right, here we go. So we're just letting them rest to let the juices like redistribute and let all that deliciousness happen.
I'm gonna slide this down, Ann, so you got it.
Right. So then we have our super yummy chutney sauce. You know, like our apple and prune with a little rosemary and bacon in there. So these guys, let's just cut right off these big fat bones and slice them up. And then, yeah, look at that. Beautifully pink and juicy in the middle again. Okay. And I just slice it up beautifully. There we go. And that's a big fat
Look
pork.
how quiet we all got. We're just like... All right, while Ann finishes plating this, let's take a look at our next chef in the kitchen story. Missy's going to pop up next, so check her story.